Hello and welcome to our Payroll Talk today to talk about the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021 that was signed at the end of December. I'm Vicki Stalnaker, Director of Operations for Payroll Systems, a division of JRBT.
And I'm Hensley, Payroll Supervisor for Payroll Systems. And as with all of our talks, I have to give you our standard disclaimer that this discussion is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as tax or HR or legal advice. Please consult with your advisors. So, what are some of the payroll updates and changes with the Consolidated Appropriations Act?
The Act had some changes to the employee tax deferral, the employee retention credit, as well as the FFCRA paid sick leave. So far for 2020, Payroll Systems has processed over $1 million of credits for our clients under the old provisions. So with the new ones, we are expecting quite a bit of more credits to be processed.
What changed for the employee tax deferral?
With the employee tax deferral of 2020, the payback period has changed. Originally, employees had to pay it back by April 30th of 2021, and with the new act, that is now changed to December 31st of 2021. Now, many employers chose not to participate in the employee tax deferral because employers are still responsible for paying that tax if they're not able to collect it from the employees by December 31st of this year.
Let's switch now to updates on the payroll tax credits for employers. What credits are available to employers under FFCRA?
With FFCRA, this was the paid sick leave and expanded FMLA for COVID-related leave and also for school closures. And the new act has extended that into March 31st of 2021. Now in 2020, it was mandatory for certain employers to participate, but now for 2021, it is now voluntary. So an employer does not have to offer it, but they are able to continue into this first quarter.
And do the leave limits start over for 2021?
They do not. So employees are not able to get additional leave in 2021 if they used up all of it in 2020. But the amounts just roll over. Any unused leave carries over into 2021. So for example, if an employee used 40 hours of the paid sick leave in 2020, they are able to carry over the remaining 40 hours for paid sick leave into 2021. If they used up all of it last year, they cannot carry over any more into 2021. And the same thing applies with the expanded FMLA for school closures.
Okay, and what changes were made to the employee retention credit?
With the employee retention credit, just a few reminders from 2020. With that, employers were eligible for up to a $5,000 credit, which is a 50% of $10,000 of wages and qualified health expenses for employees in 2020. And there's two criteria with that. The first one is they had to be subject to a governmental order that caused a partial or full closure of business operations, or they had to have a decline in gross receipts of 50% by quarter in 2020, comparing that to 2019. So for 2020, they did make one change to this, and that is they are now allowing, under the new act, employers who receive the PPP loans are now eligible when previously they were not. So it is a significant opportunity for employers who received a PPP loan.
And do you have examples of how much employers are eligible for in 2020?
Yes, for employers that have 10 employees, they are eligible for up to $50,000 of credits. For employers with 100 employees, they are eligible up to $500,000 of credit for 2020. So it is a substantial credit. So recipients of the PPP loans definitely need to check out this credit since they are now eligible due to the retroactive provisions back into 2020.
And what does the employee retention credit offer for 2021?
So the Consolidated Appropriations Act extended the employee retention credit into June 30th of 2021 and also had a few updates and changes as well. So the percentage of credit has changed. Rather than being 50% of $10,000 of wages for the year, it is now 70% of $10,000 of wages per quarter. So now employers are eligible for up to $14,000 of credit per employee for 2021 for those first 2 quarters in total. In addition, there was a change to the gross receipts as well. It has been reduced from 50% to 20% when you're comparing the quarter of 2021 to prior years. And also the ERC was opened up to colleges, universities, and some medical entities as well.
Do you have examples of how much employers are eligible for in 2021?
Yes, the credits are much higher in 2021 since it's now on a per quarter basis. So a 10 employee employer is now eligible for $140,000 of credits, and a 100 employee employer is now eligible for $1.4 million of credits just with those first 2 quarters. So it is a significant increase in the dollar amount for 2021.
So what should employers do now?
The first thing that employers should do is determine eligibility. They need to look at both of these credits, the FFCRA if they haven't claimed it before in 2020, and also with the employee retention credit to see if they're eligible now, especially if they received a PPP loan for 2020, to go back and look at that. And you can reach out to us at Payroll Systems and also to JRBT to discuss some of that criteria to help determine if your business qualifies. And then second, we need to claim the credit. These credits are claimed on payroll tax returns, which for 2020 will require amended returns. And we are currently waiting on the Secretary of Treasury to see if IRS is going to change that amended return process to streamline it and make it quicker for employers to receive refunds back.
And how can employers stay up to date on follow-up info?
The main thing to follow up on this is to stay up to date with us. And so you can follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, or go to our websites and sign up for our newsletters if you haven't already at jrbt.com and Payroll Systems, jrbt.com.
Thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned for more updates.